goes up, it did its cut, it's great, it's done, you can remove your paper. There is another function on the manual mode. If you don't want to be sticking your hand underneath the blade to get your paper to after it's cut, you can hit this button right here, and it puts a little arrow right here, and all that tells you is that in between each cut it's going to push the paper 3 inches forward so you can grab it, you're not sticking your hand underneath, and then it's going to travel back to the 10-inch mark where your cut was, if you're constantly doing 10-inch cuts over and over again. So I got the little arrow on there, and I'll hold it. It's going to do the cut. After the cut's done, you'll see where it moves forward. Move forward, push your paper 3 inches out, and it moves back to the 10-inch mark automatically. Now if you have paper here, you can just remove it without having to stick your hand underneath the blade. Just a feature that some people might like. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off now, because that's pretty much the manual mode. If I want to change my cut, basically all I'd have to do is hit C while I'm in manual mode. And I'm going to hit it a second time just to clear it out and say like I want to go to an 8-inch cut. And do 8, 0, 0, enter. Now it goes to the 8-inch mark. You do your cut there. If I want to change it again, I can change it. I just hit C twice. And then I'll go to, let's say I might want to go to 17-inch cut. Hit enter. It's going to go back to the 17-inch mark. One thing I did forget to mention at the very beginning that I want to talk about, there's these two buttons right here. It does say in the instruction manual, but you should always, at the beginning of every time you turn on the machine, you should hit these two buttons just to calibrate the machine. All that does is just so the machine will find out where it's located at. It's a calibration mode. That way you ensure you get the best cut possible. So I just kind of want to mention that right there. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and, now that we kind of went through the manual mode, I'm going to go ahead and go through auto mode. You're going to get to auto mode by hitting the wrench button until you see A flashing, or A not being flashing, A right here on the screen. Now we're in auto mode. From here you can do different programs. You can cut, you can have different types of cuts. I kind of pre-did this one on memory point number 1. You have up to 96 different locations or different memory points that you can actually program. This is great if you're doing the same cuts over and over and over again. I already got this for 1. You could change it if you want, or you can just go to another location. I'm going to go to location number 2 and do an actual program there. But I'm going to hit this button right here. I'm going to keep on hitting. See how this is blinking right here? I'm going to hit it until the memory point's blinking. Now I'm going to use the down arrow button, or the up arrow in this case. I'm going to go to memory point number 2. There's nothing programmed there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now I'm going to hit clear and highlight the first cut. So say like my first cut, you might have different things, and I've seen different parts sometimes where you want to do a short cut, then you want to go back to a long cut, you know, because you might be turning your paper different ways, but you have a different job. But say like I want to cut like a piece of 12-inch paper in half. So I go 6, 0, 0. I'm going to use the down arrow. And now I want to go to a 10-inch cut because I might be doing business cards or something, or just a flyer or whatever, but I'm going to go to a 10-inch cut. And this would be, I'd cut the paper in half, I'd probably stack it on top of each other, and I'd flip it, put it in there and do a 10-inch cut for whatever reason. And then I'm going to go down again and say like I want to go, after the 10-inch cut, I want to go to 8-inch cut. Down arrow, and we'll go 6-inch cut, and a 4-inch cut. And you can go down all the way to 2 inches, but I'm just going to go 4 here. And I hit enter. I'm going to hit it one more time to let it know that we're done. Now it's going to travel to your 6-inch mark. I'm going to go ahead and hit both cut buttons, do my cut like normal. The blade will come down. Now the machine will automatically travel you to your 10-inch mark. At this point, if you're going to get your stacks of paper, you get your 2 cuts, stack them on top of each other, turn them whatever way you're going to turn them, stick them back in there. It'll go back to your 10-inch cut. Now we'll do the 10-inch cut. Now it'll automatically go to 8 inches. And I'll do the 8-inch cut. Now the machine will automatically go to 6 inches. And then we'll do the 6-inch cut. Sorry. Now it's going to go to 4 inches. 4-inch cut, it's going to go back to the beginning of the program and start with 6 all over again, so you can do another stack of paper, however you're going to do it. So that was your auto mode. There's one other mode, it's called sections mode. And you do that by hitting this button right here, and it just goes where there's an S right here. Sections mode is where you start off at a certain point, maybe you start off at 12 inches, and you just want to have like maybe a 3-inch cut, and you want the blade to travel 3 inches every time in between cuts. So basically, I'm going to hit C to highlight this and do 12-inch cut. I'm going to use a down arrow, and this is the distance the blade will travel forward. So I'm going to put in 3. Now it goes to 12-inch cut, and it's going to keep on doing a 3-inch cut till it has no more paper to cut, and it'll go back to 12 inches. And I'll show that. So now it's going to go to 9 inches. I'll do the 9-inch cut. Now it's going to go to 6 inches. Now I'll do the 6-inch cut. Now it's going to go to 3-inch cut. Now we'll do the 3-inch cut, and it won't be able to go any further forward, so then it's going to automatically go back to the 12-inch cut, so you can start over. Now in sections mode, so it goes back to a 12-inch cut. Sections mode, you can only have one program each time. You got to program it each time, but it's great if you're traveling a certain distance in between each cut automatically. Auto mode is clearly by far the one that everybody uses the most, because you can program 96 different things in there, which is clearly more than what anybody probably ever need as far as different types of jobs they might do over and over again. And let's see if I could explain any more of the features on this. Actually, I'll actually put some paper in here because I'm sure you actually want to see an actual cut. This is 8.5 by 11 paper. So I'm going to start off with an exact, actually I'll do a 10-inch cut first. And actually I'll go to auto mode for that, or manual mode. So I hit the wrench button until I see the M, and I'll type in, actually I'm going to start with 12 first, because I like to push the paper forward so it knows it's like all the way forward. So I like to stick the paper way underneath first. Hit clear, 12, enter. And then I'm going to put the paper in there, put it all the way against the paper push. And you see it's behind where it's going to actually cut, but I did that on purpose. I want to push forward automatically. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do a 10-inch cut now. So I'm going to hit clear again. I'm going to hit it twice to clear it out. I'm going to go to a 10-inch cut. So move forward. Now I can actually do a cut. Went through, just did the cut right there on the line where it was kind of showing right there. Now the nice thing about it is I'm going to go ahead and, now say like I just want to do a little bit of a cut, so I'll just type in, let's see, we'll do 9, sorry, let me hit C twice, 9, 9, 8. Just 2 1/100ths of an inch basically. And then you move forward, I'm going to do 996. So you see it just moved it forward just a hair basically, just so you see how much you can. So you see how it did that cut, where it's just almost really a real fine cut right there. So it has the ability to move forward just very little at a time. And I think that's pretty much. Do you know of anything else to talk about there, Chris? As far as the operation of it?
That's it. Other than you want to show and demonstrate the buttons, how they work?
Yeah, I show both buttons. Like, so I'm going to hold both buttons down. You see it's going to, you got to hold both buttons. Hopefully I'm out of the way. You got to keep on holding them until the blade starts traveling back up. The blade's traveled up. I can release them now. It'll finish the cut. I'm going to show you actually where, if I stick my thumb in there on the top of the table while I'm doing the cut, it's going to show you, it'll air out. See, it just stopped automatically. Right when I stuck my thumb in there, it gives you a fault. It won't operate until you remove whatever's in the way of the table. Now I remove my thumb so I can finish my cut. So that's a nice feature about the safety grid there.
Reverse button or just clamp, just blade?
Now, I could do if I just want to clamp, do the paper clamp, I would press this button and this button at the same time. And it just does the paper clamp. That's it. For if you ever have a reason that you just want to see kind of where it's pressing the paper down, you can see exactly. And if I want to reverse it, I press this button and this button. Just automatically reverses it. Those two buttons are the same if the blade was stuck in the wrong position. You get the blade halfway. So the blade's halfway down. I want to reverse them. I hit those same two buttons.